Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad Talk Today. I am your host Eric Carroll, live from Washington, D.C. and CPAC 2020. And today we've got Mr. Douglas Scott of the Special Operations Charity Network. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Hey man, so tell us a little bit about what you got going on here.
Special Operations Charity Network. We actually founded that. It was Dick Marcinko and his partners at Road Warrior and I created Special Operations Charity Network in 2013. We started up a group to specifically focus on other related charities. We found that we were raising money for everybody else and not keeping any for ourselves, and we were supporting programs but not organizing our own. So we regrouped this last year. We have a new board, we have other new members, and we started what we're calling Find Your Tribe. Find Your Tribe is all about military, federal law enforcement, and other men and women in uniform actually starting with that tribe. And you know what that tribe is? It's your family when you start, right?
That's right.
Then you go into high school, what do you have? Football team, the cheerleading squad, your wrestling team. You've got all of this, and you move on, you have all these things in common. Well, then you join the military, or you join the academy, you go to the police academy, and you join a group of people, and you're in uniform. That's your new tribe. You go to work with them, you live and die with them. You join the military, the more elite you get, the tighter that tribe gets. But what happens is, when you suffer in combat, or you suffer injuries in training, and you have your tribe, it's post-traumatic stress. It's shell shock, it's all the different things. But you have TBI, you got buzzing ears, you got brain damage, you got things you don't know about, but you're not getting necessarily treated because you don't want to lose deployment status. You don't want to lose jump, dive, combat pay. You don't want to be the guy that wasn't there. You don't want the young guys to come up and fill, because if they get hurt, you feel it's your fault. The sense of responsibility and service in our uniformed services is intense. But that's your tribe, and everybody else is going through the same thing. So you have that counsel and that support that overcomes everything. It's post-traumatic stress. When you get out, you come home, your wife doesn't recognize you because you've been through horrible violence. You're not the guy that left. You have guys getting divorces, their wives can't handle them, the kids are afraid of them, or they get completely disassociated. They turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, to pornography, to anything that keeps the dopamine fix and disassociates them. They become completely disassociated from their tribe. They expect it to come home and have their family be the tribe. It's not there. It doesn't happen all the time, thank God. But when it does, it's totally destructive and overwhelming.
Well, it's bad enough, Doug, when we are going through these issues in the real world, but if you have to go overseas and you're in the military, and then you put the stress of that on top of coming home, finding out somebody who's been messing around on you, you're going through divorce or not seeing your kids. I don't know how they do it.
You're dealing with this here. This is part of what your mission is. This is why this is such a good collaboration. Imagine if the association could help those mothers so they're aware of what's going on, so they understand their husband's stress or their wife's stress. They have to be warned. They have to understand that there's counseling, that there are programs. The VA has excellent programs now, but the majority of the good programs are privately run. There are people like us that come from the military, from law enforcement. There's something else to remember. I didn't learn this until at Parsons with QRC where I work. I actually learned about federal law enforcement. Think about this for a second. Federal law enforcement, our state, our local guys in uniform, SWAT units, even just a patrol guy. You get up in the morning, you throw your uniform on, you grab your sidearm, you get in the vehicle, you drive through your neighborhood, and you go to work. Your bad guys are, in some cases, your neighbors. They know where you live. They know where your family goes to school. You want to talk about stress? We go overseas and we go find the bad guys and we do our business there. And then we come home and we should be protected. Federal law enforcement, our state and local boys do not.
Right.
Everybody knows. All the bad guys know where they live. They're constantly in threat. And then when they come home from work and the community is turning against them and an entire party is vilifying them, I mean, really, you're talking about politics choosing to undermine our men and women in law enforcement uniform that are the ones they're going to call 911 for. They need just as much help and support. Their post-traumatic stress is constant, and their tribe is torn apart from the stress of knowing that they're always at risk in their own backyard.
So one of the things that you're mentioning here, all of the stress and everything, if these people go into court, all of their service and the stress and everything that they have taken with them gets used against them.
Yep.
So they can be a hero overseas, they can be a hero within their community, but they go to a family court, and the first thing is that person is a dangerous person.
Yep.
Because that person has a job of what? Killing bad guys to keep people safe, or arresting them or doing something like that.
You're absolutely right.
So, and that seems to be the biggest tragedy. When I signed up for the military, you knew that I knew that there were going to be sacrifices involved.
Yep.
But if somebody would have said to me, Jeff, you're going to sign up into the military, and here's what's going to happen: we are going to destroy your family, and you will not see your kids. Would I sign up for that? No. Somebody needs to have my back in this. And in our society right now, we do not have our veterans' backs.
That's correct.
It's really bad. We always say, oh, God bless you, thank you for your service, we love our veterans. But when it comes down to the courts, we turn our backs and we're like steamroller. And that's why one of the issues with veteran suicide, if you look at the veteran suicide, secondclasscitizen.org, I believe, talks about it, and other places, you have veterans committing suicide a lot of times due to family issues.
Correct.
And then there's the second thing that people are talking about, the children of veterans that are now doing that. Because after some of this other trauma, who do they have? Where's their father? Where's their mother if the mother's in uniform? And now you're starting to see a rise in children of veterans committing suicide too.
Yeah.
So, I think that the issues that we're talking about, like you said, they parallel very much. And I don't think, unless you have gone through this, people realize how horrid, how torturous these so-called courts of justice are. I mean, you might as well go to some of the torture prisons. It's that bad. People have told me, Jeff, being in Afghanistan was a walk in the park compared to being in a family court.
You knew who your enemies were.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's easy. It's easier to get shot at.
And you can also defend yourself against your enemies. In family court, you have no defense. The fact that he carries a gun. He's law enforcement, but he carries a gun. Obviously, now we can take that gun away from you or something like that. And now your career's ruined.
Well, even when you're going to the VA and you're looking for treatment, think about this. We look at it as post-traumatic stress.
Mm-hmm.
We don't call it a disorder. It's stress.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in your tribe, we're talking about your football team, your others, but when you're in the military and elite forces and really the federal law enforcement and our state and local, you're in your tribe, you're in your element, you're uniformed together, you work in the same, you're trained the same, you have all things in common. Mm-hmm. That's your tribe. Mm-hmm. You come home, you're disassociated, you end up in a divorce court, all of your sacred secrets are now in the court against you.
Right.
Every time that you had a nightmare and woke up screaming, everything that happened to you, every fight every disagreement you ever had is now being used against you. And some of these instances are horrifying of what a wife or a husband will do against their spouse,
right,
even using the children in the middle, which tears them apart. You guys are intimately aware of this from what you're trying to do.
Well, the thing that's so bad about it is the things that they use against you are probably personal, intimate details that you gave them, because that once upon a time was
Trust.
a person that you love. They know what you love and they know what you fear. And when you give that
that's
to
where
a
it gets-
manipulator,
Yeah.
hey guys, there's a reason that the suicide rate is up so high, and I think it's very important that we make some safe havens and people that understand these problems that our vets can go and talk to and get their mind off of this. Because could you imagine taking what happened over there, coming home, getting those problems, and just wearing those around all
You're
day
torn
long?
apart. So you said safe havens. Think about safe havens. What's your new tribe? What's your new group? You got a group of guys you go fishing with. That becomes a tribe. There's been studies done on motorcycle community. The motorcycle community, an entire group was started by veterans. They got the old military surplus choppers, bikes, they souped them up, they changed it, and they went for rides. And it really surged in Vietnam. I think it was World War II. So if you look in the biking community, sure, they're creating this myth of the wonderful Harley riders and the different groups and everything like that as criminals, and they're kind of making that sexy for Hollywood. It's inappropriate. If you go back and look at all these guys, they get a really bad name. But you look at the groups, some of the ones are working with us. We're doing a group called Find Your Tribe. The program, we're doing a fundraiser right now, which is based on a Harley that was donated by Gold Star Harley down in St. Louis and Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. The Sordyke family, their son was Tom Sordyke. They have a charity called CadetTom.com. He was the cadet that actually jumped in to save one of the other cadets, and he died in the process of saving him. He got him up out of the water, but he drowned in the process. So, there's that ethos there of that tribe, of what you'll do for your tribe, for your peers. But the motorcycle community, the post-traumatic stress that you have in the military is all taken care of because everybody else is too. So it's not different. You're not unique. You're not ostracized, alienated, or vilified. Everybody's got it. Everybody's trained for it, and you can work with it. You don't have that when you get home. You find everybody riding a motorcycle. You have to focus on that bike, on the road. It's peace. Now, a guy named Max Martini, he's on our board. He's over in Hollywood. He actually produced a movie called Sergeant Will Gardner. And in that, he showed the combat stress, the traumatic brain injury, the post-traumatic stress, what it did to him when he came home to his family. His family was torn up. It's about the whole odyssey of getting back to his family and trying to find a tribe. On the motorcycle, he found peace, got to clear his head. It's a long story, but it's an amazing story about that relationship between a man and his bike and the community they can draw. Now we're hoping to fund and pull support together to create a new one that follows Sergeant Will Gardner 2. Hopefully we'll get Max convinced on that.
Awesome.
Let me ask another follow-up to this.
Go.
And so when you have somebody who's fighting, they're fighting for somebody. I mean, people used to say that the reason I fight the enemy in front of me is because that which is behind me is more precious.
Yep.
So you go into a position where you've got these people, they are taught to defend, they're taught to fight, to protect something behind them. They go into a family court or something like that, and their natural instinct is to fight, to protect.
Yeah.
And then the very things that they're taught to do are the very things that say you're a violent man, you're an angry person, you're this, you've got PTSD, you're a danger.
Yeah.
And
They expose the weakest part to destroy him.
right, they expose the weakest part. In this context, in that context, you want that to be your strongest part, that you're willing to fight, that you're willing to defend.
But that's why so many of the guys roll over, because they can't fight their family.
Yeah, and they don't
And
know
the lawyers take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And I hate to say this, but they rape them financially. Absolutely financially. They rape them.
The only people that make it in a divorce are the lawyers.
Yeah.
They always come out fine.
Yeah.
Everything else they'll destroy.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that say when we live in a country where baseball and basketball players are making millions of dollars, and our veterans and our police force are making crumbs, and our teachers, the people that are taking care of our kids.
You get illegals coming over the border get better support than veterans.
Yes, they do, and that is a travesty.
That is a travesty. But that's demoralizing. That adds the disorder part of post-traumatic stress. That D comes when you're disassociated. But it can be repaired. People can get treatment and support. A lot of that's private. The VA now has excellent programs which have improved over the last 4 years significantly because of a cleanup in the administration. But the great thing now is the programs that we're trying to fund with our new fundraiser are about motorcycles, getting guys on motorcycles. It's about getting guys into fishing with a group of guys, going hunting. We're doing shooting sports. Kita Busi is worth looking up. I'll send you a link on her. She's our shooting sports ambassador. She is unbelievable. There's a lot of significant females in the sport, and that gets you into precision shooting, competitive shooting. But anything that you can think of that brings and gives the guys, you're talking about being that community and finding the safe space where you guys can associate. Where you talk, it used to just be the VFW. The problem is VFW be there smoking and drinking and getting drunk with the boys, telling old war stories. That's not healing anything. That's taking one addiction and replacing it with another.
My dad was a veteran guy back in 2013, never been sick, never been in the hospital. He went to the hospital with a kidney stone, and he died at midnight.
I'm so sorry.
So,
a kidney stone?
Yeah, kidney stone. The VA needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, you think?
It was, I won't say it on camera, but I mean, just put two and two together.
They killed me dead. They went in to operate on me for injuries that I'd received while I was in service. I was tore up pretty good. And they went in there and made a couple of mistakes, and I flatlined for way too long. My poor wife was sitting out in the lobby waiting and had no idea why they're running back. And then I woke up and beat the crap out of everybody, so I guess they got theirs. I don't feel bad about that.
I don't think so.
Thank goodness I don't remember it either. But I got told a bunch of good stories about how I was not friendly to the doctors or the guys that came in and tried to tie me down. But I woke up the next morning tied down, and a little itty bitty guy from Duke, Dr. Chin, came in and he was trying to look. And I woke up and I looked over at him and I said, "Hey, Doc," kind of squeezed that out. He freaked out up against the wall, running out saying, "He's awake, he's awake." So yeah, don't fool with the.
Yeah.
And VA is not noted for taking good care of its people.
No,
Some of them are different.
So Doug, tell us a little bit about where everybody can find you.
Okay, www.specopscharity.com. That's simple. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The charity, the event, you put the specopscharity.com/Harley fundraiser, which you see on my card. But if you go there right on the website and on the Facebook site, it's right there. This is the motorcycle that Gold Star Harley down in St. Louis. They worked to get us the bike, and they've modified it. Gary Sinise has signed the tank because he was in the movie. Robert Patrick, who has Santa Clarita Harley, he's amazingly supportive. He's come in and he's signed it as well, and Max Martini, of course, who brought the movie together. But both Robert Patrick and Gary Sinise are in it, so it's a wonderful collaboration. We hope to be able to gain some funds and send some back over to Gary Sinise so he can put that where it belongs, because he's done so many amazing things. Nobody's done it better. We're all just trying to help.
Yeah.
That's right. Doug, thank you so much for coming.
It's a real pleasure. Thanks for the time, and good luck on what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to
Thank
working
you.
with you.
Guys, we will see you next time.